Everyone. We are live with a couple of amazing ladies that have been part of a book project that recently came out from She Writes the Student called Inspire Her. And we're going to have a little discussion panel so we can talk a little bit more about the overall messaging in this book. So, Erica, why don't you kick us off? What is your chapter in the book? And what's the overall message that you hope readers gain?
So my message in the book is reclaiming joy after divorce and anxiety. And I really just want people to understand like there is light at the end of the tunnel, and to understand like some tools if you're going through a relationship breakup or divorce, like just understanding that there's grief, a lot of different grief things that you go through. It's not easy, even if you know it's the right thing. And so in there, I just put several little things to help people understand that you're loved, you're not alone. You know, some tools that you can use that were helpful for me during that journey, and that I hope will be helpful to those going through this.
Yeah, and this book is a collection of all different types of stories, all different backgrounds, all different experiences from all over the world, really, and sometimes we forget change is inevitable. And yet often we meet change with fear, uncertainty, or resistance. But if we choose to see change as an opportunity, we can invite things like growth and redefinition of ourselves and stepping into our truer power. So, Inspire Her, embracing change and transformation, is really a testament to that strength of resilience and courage for women who have turned life's transformations into stepping stones towards success and fulfillment. So thank you for that example of your journey and your story. Helen, what about you? What does your chapter focus on, and what do you hope people gain as an overall message from this book?
Well, my chapter is on what I call regenerative transformation, or specifically regenerative divergence, and how when we reach a certain point, just as you were explaining, linear forward progress is no longer what got you to where you are, is not capable of getting you to the next step. And we don't really have tools for that. Like we're told, in my opinion, because we're generally kept within a containment or an enclosure for a variety of reasons of what's kind of possible. How do we step beyond that limit? And it's really in the way I look at it, it's the sideways pivot. It is making this different shift and seeing how these times of tremendous compression, when everything seems hopeless, that's actually when these portals to truly different ways of being emerge. If we can hold that uncertainty, and we're taught to sort of collapse into certainty and to accelerate and to like keep moving. And I think at times really sitting with the discomfort and letting something emerge that is different than what has already been. Like you can keep replicating the past very quickly, but how do you create that space for something truly different? Not to force it, not to project what you want into being, but how do you receive what wants to emerge? And that's, I think, a lost art. So I'm very happy to be part of this, to share that.
Right. And it just like you're sharing, I mean, within these pages, you're going to see different stories where women have faced challenges or navigated career shifts or embraced personal reinvention or overcome obstacles that, only once seemed insurmountable or unchangeable. And, I find with each chapter serves as both a mirror window, like offering reflection, but then also a glimpse of what is possible. That the reader can really lean on and learn from. So if you don't mind, ladies, sharing like what is, aside from what you've already shared, but what is kind of a profound message that just kind of has kept you going in difficult times or helped you during these transitional times that you might be able to share with people listening today? Erica?
Well, for me, it's always been God. And, no matter what I face, God has always been there. And, when I'm struggling, I will go to scripture and look up, and read, and it just kind of reminds me the Bible is full of those testimonies of people who have went through tragedies to triumph too. And so I love doing that. And so I think that was one of the reasons I love this book and wanted to be a part of showing that, because I read all the ladies' stories too. And it was encouraging to me. And even though I've been in the counseling field for 30 years, I think it's extremely important for us to see and hear other people's stories when we're going through things in life. So, tuning in to your spiritual higher power, and letting, your higher power guide you. And then also reading and listening and learning from other people who've been there, I think is really my two big important things that it's helped me so much through my life.
Helen, what about you?
Yes, I've had a question that is sort of stuck with me since college, which related to how then shall we live? So you're having this difficult moment, taking the time to be still, to listen, and to be willing to receive, like that there's, and whether, and I used to get hung up on, people talking about God or, like some higher power, like that, like I had difficulty with that concept. But if you think of it as really just a frequency of knowledge that has existed since time immemorial, that is a at a minimum, there's a self-organizing sentient operation at work in the universe that is unfolding and emerging, and I think of myself, I'm on the leading edge of that. And which way am I steering? And how do I actually embody the frequency, the state of what I want to emerge? Because I can't get there by being hateful or fearful or anxious. Like I need to take that time to say, how then shall, like, what am I here for? How am I showing up? What am I bringing to this situation to make it better or worse? Am I actually operating? And I think a lot of our desire for certainty is anti-life, because it is denying what wants to emerge in favor of retaining what already was. And everything from the Bible to perennial wisdom talks about cycles and seasons, and there is this holding on is not and cannot be successfully the only thing that we do. Like there has to be that there's more to it than what appears. So that's sort of my what I like for people to think of, like, how then shall we live? Given everything, it's all happened. I'm in this moment.
Right. Now what?
Can't change anything. What do I do to make the future emerge in a more coherent fashion rather than adding to the decoherence?
Yeah. Melissa, welcome. Thank you for joining us and jumping into the conversation. So, Melissa, we first off, the ladies answered what is their chapter kind of about, or what is the overall messaging you hope people gain from your chapter?
So my chapter, I did a little differently. I did it in poetic free form. And really my chapter walks people through a very personal story of trauma and all the things that go along with that, and kind of shift and really kind of looking at how some things that happen to us or happen for us eventually, right? Depending on when you're reflecting on that. But how it can really become sort of a wildfire. So my chapter is called Wildfire Within. And it's really about the consumption that happens through tragedy and trauma and all the different things. And kind of how I moved through it and how I had to sort of lean into my own power and quiet that fearful voice in the back of my head, and the other, voices from my past that would come into play and things like that. And really emerging, because the thing about wildfires is that they clear the path, right? And they can be very destructive. But when they're done, there's new life that comes from that, and new growth and things like that. And so my chapter is really about that and trying to really just connect with the reader on that level and letting people know that even if you've gone through X, Y, and Z, because I've been through, like most people, a lot of different things in my life that were really, really hard. And I didn't know if I was going to make it through some of those things. But I did. And I was stronger for it and I grew from it. And it's really about that mindset shift, too, of
Mm,
seeing things as opportunities, right? So I always say that
mm,
challenges are difficult opportunities, and looking at things that happen to us as things that happen for us, and what kind of growth and learning can we take from that, and what kind of strength can we take from that, and really make those things work for us, and turning it into something really amazing. And I went from where I was to being a therapist, helping other people move through their own trauma and anxiety and depression, and then shifted. I'm still in private practice, but I also shifted into coaching um, as a mindset and alignment coach for female entrepreneurs, where I really focus on helping them kind of lean into their authenticity and their voice and their personal power and things like that. So,
yeah. Thank you, Melissa. And so everyone knows, again, the book is called Inspire Her, and it is out in, ebook and paperback form. And this book is really designed to be inspirational, motivational, all those things. But also each one of these women, as they share the journey that they've gone through, their journey they're going through, or insight into how to, come out a different and better person. If any one of these stories resonates with you, where you feel like, oh my gosh, she's speaking directly to me, their information's there. Each one of these women a lot of times work with people just like yourself in some fashion or another, or lead them, help them, guide them. You can reach out to them and they're willing to help you in that journey. And really, Inspire Her is here to remind you that transformation is not just about adapting, it's about evolving into the best version of yourself. And so let each one of these stories really inspire you. Let their wisdom empower you. And most importantly, let this book be a reminder that you are capable of embracing change with strength, grace, and unshakable resilience. Your journey begins now, through this book and through their guidance and through the things they've already walked through. So, ladies, thank you for joining to go over this discussion panel. I can't wait for your author celebration, where we can really celebrate all the milestones this book has hit. And that means people that you, ladies, have impacted and changed lives. So, thank you for saying yes to this project, being part of this project. And please, everybody, go get your copy of Inspire Her on Amazon and all the retailers now. All right. Thank you, ladies. Have an amazing rest of your weekend. I can't wait to see you next week for the author celebration. Bye.